My name is Zoya Zayler, and I did my Bachelor of HR here at the School of Administrative Studies at York University. I graduated in 2004, and upon graduation I decided that I wanted to get some international HR experience and put my learnings to practice, and I decided to get a role in India. So I went to work in a city called Pune for an IT services firm in the HR function. So that was really my first experience of leveraging what I learned in the bachelor's program and putting my key learnings to use. It was a fantastic experience, it was exciting, and I feel like I grew both personally and professionally. After spending a year and a half with Accenture in a couple of different roles, I decided that I really wanted to get a broader foundation of the different business functions and really to be able to understand how HR fits with the other functions and how it can better contribute to the bottom line. And for me personally, I thought that the best way to do that would be to go back to school and to pursue an MBA. Now, given my personal interest in international HR, I decided to pursue an international MBA. And I did that here in Toronto for the first year, and then the second year I went to Paris where I did an internship in HR for an industrial engineering firm in Paris. And then I did an exchange at HEC, which is a French university just outside of Paris as well. And overall, that was another fantastic experience because I got to see yet another country where HR is implemented, which is so completely different from how it works in Canada and in India. And that really, I think, overall contributed to my professional growth as well as my personal growth. I've always had a strong interest in the business environment, so I always knew that I wanted to do a bachelor's that focused on business. And when I looked at the different options available to me, I really decided that HR was for me. And that's because I've always felt that human resources are the most critical part of any enterprise. And I think that to learn how to manage human resources and how to create those structures and programs and best practices that help the human resources in an organization and ultimately contribute to the bottom line, I think that's where I felt like I would be able to make the most impact, and that's why I chose the program. So for me, there were a lot of really interesting courses in the bachelor program. I think the number one course that still stands out to this day was International Human Resources Management. And again, as I mentioned, it's an interest of mine. And also I think the professor that we had, Steve McKenna, he was absolutely instrumental in sparking my interest, and I think in sparking a lot of students' interests to pursue an international HR career. So for me, that was really, I think, the seed that really planted my international career. Today, I think it's extremely important to really have a global understanding of where HR fits in an enterprise. For me, that was always not only an interest of mine, but it was a goal. It was really something that I knew I wanted to accomplish if I was going to grow in my career. So that's why I decided to go work in HR in India, and then I worked in HR in Paris, and of course here in Toronto. And I feel that being able to experience the HR area in different parts of the world really opens up your mind, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for knowledge sharing and for learning a lot of best practices in different environments and then bringing them to the new environment that you're in. So I think that there's really a lot to gain for an HR professional from actually getting international work experience. When we think about where the HR profession has come from and where it's going, I think we see a huge evolution. I think that these days there's an ever-increasing presence of HR at the boardroom table. I think the value that HR adds has been absolutely recognized by the C-level executive. That's because more and more organizations are realizing that people are really the cornerstone of an enterprise. I think without exceptional human capital, it's very difficult to make a business functional and to make it run properly. And I think because the HR profession is so focused on the human resources of the enterprise, I think it's growing in importance.